Wonder if a platform like OnlyFans could be the next ones to get looked at as harmful to society, or maybe you're just being dumb. I don't think you're being dumb, because I personally am not like a huge fan of pornography. I understand it has like a place in society, and like some people will, I guess, responsibly consume certain types of pornography, but it has the ability to be addicting, and I think it's a degrading kind of thing for people to do. But again, prostitution is the world's oldest profession. There's always going to be women who do it. There's always going to be men who purchase the women who do it. I don't think you're ever going to get rid of something like that. So even if I don't like it, like, I wouldn't want to see those people harmed by like crazy payment companies like Visa or whatever not wanting to be with that platform. Must go in, Kirsche, you will like it. It's just like, I don't care, right? If somebody wants to consume porn, that should be like their prerogative to do so. But it can be incredibly fucking harmful. It can be very harmful, and I think people don't take that as seriously enough. Like, people still laugh at like porn addiction as if it's not a real thing that affects dudes and makes it so they can't function with fleshy women. There's some people, very few, who use OnlyFans as non-pornographic platform and do other things with it, but that's the minority, though, certainly. And prostitution predates banking, absolutely. Unironically, real prostitution was less harmful than online pornography because it was less normalized and kept under wraps. Yeah, I definitely don't like the whole, like, sex work is real work kind of movement. It kind of feels grody to me. Porn is highly detrimental across the board, bad. I mean, yeah, I look at it kind of like alcohol in a way, where it's like, there are some people who can consume it in a very casual manner and it doesn't affect them very well. As like, they just go on with their life normally and they're perfectly fine functioning human beings. But then there's the people who end up sliding down a slippery slope and end up in a goon cave with 10 monitors and 100 different videos playing at once. I just got here. Whatever situation this is, it's wild. You don't think it's possible to be normal after consuming pornography? I mean, I would say it should be. Like, I think maybe it's difficult in current year because there seems to be so many people that can't tell the difference between fiction and reality. So there are probably more people who believe like, oh, porn is actually real. Anything can be bad. The quantity is the most important factor. Yeah. Live action pornography is prostitution plus propaganda plus easy access. Way more harmful. You have an uncle who ruined several relationships because of porn. He literally couldn't have sex unless porn was on in the background. I've known several dudes who have had issues like actually performing sexually with their girlfriends because they're so used to watching porn to get off that like doing the sexo was just like they couldn't push past like the weird feeling. They become desensitized. Yep. Yeah. Why would he share that with you? I think it's probably a lot harder to recognize it as a valid addiction because the instant easy access probably makes more and more people actually addicted to it. I think that's part of the reason, and I think the other part of the reason is, again, the whole sex work is real work push, where it's just like, oh, these are strong, independent women reclaiming their sexuality, you should support them, and it's like, well, all things in moderation is a line literally from the Odyssey, yeah? The problem is that it is broken containment and it's almost mainstream, needs to stay in the closet and not exposed to young, impressionable minds. I mean, obviously children should not be exposed to pornography. I do not know how you would prevent that on the internet other than make parents actually parent again. Does Kirsche know that erectile dysfunction is related to porn addiction theory? I do. I am aware. Reclaiming sexuality equal to check notes being a vapid whore? I mean, that was what the sexual revolution was. Women were like, instead of telling men to stop being whores, we want to be whores too! Proper amount of intake for some things like porn should be 0. I mean, yeah, I personally do not consume pornography for the sake of getting off. I've watched a fuck ton of pornography because it's like morbid curiosity of like the crazy shit that people do. Like, that's how I talk about Queen Snake and the Jav industry. Those are not normal pornography. The people that go into doing those things on film, I do not think are normal. The people that consume those for the sake of getting off, I do not think are normal. If you've gotten to the point where you need to watch a woman getting her tits nailed to a 2x4 in order to ejaculate, you might have a problem. Jav is the most not normal but normal porn. If you have to watch a woman getting her anus filled with hundreds of eels, you might have a problem. Hey, yo, wait, hold on a minute. You never watched it, only mockery of it like South Park? You read on here, on Kick, that if someone subs, the streamer gets 95%, well, Kick gets 5. That is true. That is true. Kick has a 95-5 split. Thraz, I think, the two Canadians. I was just watching all this porn for science. Unironically, though. The problem is that you don't own enough eels yet. What the fuck? Wonder how many new people get shocked when you mention the Jav lady. I feel like the eels is very, very baseline cursed Jav. When you start learning about the stuff like Genki, that's when you're just like, I didn't know the world could be this fucked up. What happens to you when you start living on an island that you start thinking this is okay? We need to study why island people start going so fucking insane when it comes to their pornography. No, I don't want to know. The fuck is Genki? Genki is a Jav website focused on marine life and insects. So they have plenty of eels and octopi and fish going into different women's holes, but they also have like slugs and cockroaches and crickets and maggots and other assorted disgusting critters being stuffed inside women. And also sometimes the women are wearing like body stockings, and the body stockings get filled up with the bugs, and you can watch the bugs crawl all over the women's skin. I don't understand why people do this. And I also don't understand why someone would jack off to it. I'm gonna guess radiation has something to do with it. Oh, why did Jav take turducken as an inspiration for porn? I don't know, man. I don't know. Why can't you just be normal and whack it to tentacle hentai? And that's why, in my personal opinion, I think hentai is more ethical than fleshy pornography. Because I feel like it's easier for most people above room temperature IQ to understand that the hentai cartoon people are not real, and the things that happen in the hentai cannot happen in real life, typically. Like, maybe you're watching a vanilla hentai where they're having sex in the missionary position for the sole purpose of procreation, right? Like, there's probably some of those, but you understand my point, right? I think hentai is more ethical because it's not real people, no one's getting harmed, the people consuming it can have a better line between reality and fiction. That's just, like, my opinion, man. So I can't stop time and snuggle a bunch of women. No, you can't. Please don't do that even without the time stopping power, you weirdo. But most people aren't above room temp IQ. I know, it's unfortunate. Anime women aren't real. You mean women don't inflate like balloons? I know, it's crazy, they don't. As much as the flesh people have tried inflating themselves with aquarium pumps, you cannot inflate them like a balloon. Please, chatters, don't ask these questions. For anyone new here, if you ask me a question, I will typically answer it. So you need to really think before you type questions in my chat if you really want an answer to that question. Aquarium, what? So aquarium pumps pump at a, I guess, low enough frequency that people feel like it's quote-unquote safe to use to practice inflation in real life. These are the room temp IQ people that can't delineate fiction from reality. All right, so they insert like an aquarium pump into their anus, and then they start inflating themselves because they want to feel the giant jiggly belly. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Please, I swear to God, I hope you pop. Safe and ethical inflation. It's just like that dumb bitch that fucked 100 guys recently, right? If you want to have like weird masturbatorial fantasies where you get like tied up and used by 100 different guys, Sure, whatever, have at it. That's a fantasy. It's in your head. It's not real, right? It's not real. It's not affecting you. You get off, maybe you feel guilty, and you go take a shower, right? But once you're, like, conditioned yourself to getting off to that so frequently, then you're like, I want to do that in real life. Maybe that's a great idea. Let's do this in real life. And then you actually fuck those 100 guys. And then people take a video of you crying afterwards with no soul behind your eyes anymore. Hey, you know, maybe that should have stayed in make-believe land. Maybe you should have just, I don't know, had above room temperature IQ. And now you've already fucked yourself out of, like, any sort of rational living behavior because you've already gotten fucked by 100 guys in one day. So fuck it, why not try to go for 1,000, you know? Let's go. That's gonna end in a suicide in less than a decade. What's the worst Jav scene you've watched? I don't know if I could pick a worst, man. I thought we were talking about video monetization. I kind of went on a tangent. I don't even remember how I got here. Let's go back to Moist Critical, man.